Alright, so welcome back again. My name is Jesse, and in this wonderful and exciting tutorial, we're trying to explore some auto documentation tools that are very useful when you're trying to understand your code, right? So most of the LLM that we have available today are mostly useful for code generation, right? But since they are useful for code generation, they are also very useful tools that you can also use to explore code and also do code understanding. So let's see some of these wonderful tools. So how do most of these tools work, right? So we're trying to see the basic workflow of how these tools work. So the first thing is that once you give them a code, right, they do some repo analysis, right? So they get the repository that you want. So it can be GitLab and GitHub, and then it does some structured analysis, right? So either it's going to use it in an LLM based approach or an agent based approach. Then it's going to do some auto sync and then to scan the repository to get every structure about it. Then it does some AI processing, which includes creating code embeddings or vector embeddings, because it has to understand it, because you'll be able to interact with them. And it does its own magic behind the scene. Then it generates some documentation, right? So mostly the documentations are mostly wiki format documentation, so wiki generation. Then it also includes some visualization, which we can see a whole diagram or a graph or hierarchy of the entire code base, which is very useful in case you want to understand something that is so abstract for you or something that you are even familiar with. Then the third thing is that it also has an integrated chat, right? Because they do some code embedding and some vector embeddings, you can be able to interact with the code base, which is very useful. It's a very powerful search, right? So let's see some of these tools. So the first one we know is Deepwiki, which is from now obtained bought by Devin. There is also a new one in town which is called CodeWiki from Google, and there is an open source one called OpenDeepwiki. Of course, there are a lot, but these are the three main ones we'll be trying to explore. So let's see how it works. So I'll go back again to Deepwiki so everybody knows Deepwiki. In case you want to learn more, you can check the links below. There are some there. So this is how it works. So first it picks a repository. I can pick something like this, pandas, right? Then this is going to give us the repository that we have, and then I can click on this. Then it's going to give us, it's going to scan and index the entire repository and give us a very nice wiki with all links, which are very useful so that you can actually explore the code base. It gives us a very nice hierarchy or a diagram to understand the code base, which is very useful in case you want to know where each part is, right? So code understanding is very useful because of this diagram and stuff. Then you can also move out from here to see how the code is, right? Very, very elaborate explanation. And you can also chat with it, right? You can use any of these models to chat with it. You can do deep research within them, and then you can do a code map to explain everything there, right? Very cool. So that is Deepwiki. The new one in town is CodeWiki, right? So CodeWiki is from Google, which is very recent. That allows you to also do the same thing, but the difference between Deepwiki and CodeWiki is that CodeWiki is mostly using an agent-based approach, right? Not just an LLM, but an agent-based approach. So it dedicates agents for each and all of them. So it scans the code, so I can just go back here. So it doesn't have, for now, it is very new. It doesn't have like a big one, right? But you have to first scan it. So you see that we have some of them here. I can come down here and do something like pandas, same thing. Then it's going to pick pandas. Then it's going to scan it. Right, so you see that it's scanning it. It's going to generate a very nice exploratory wiki, right, for it, right? You can see the core library initialization. Let me make it bigger. It has a graph just like we had, a very nice diagram that explains where all the files are together with the Python interface, pandas interface layer, the pandas data core, a very broad, higher level abstraction of the entire code base, which is very useful. Cool. Then we also have, beside it, we also have the option to see the different ranks. Very elaborate, very simple to understand documentation. And then we have a chat integration, right? Just as I said here, most of these tools have a chat integration because they do some code embeddings, vector embeddings, so you can actually interact with it. Very cool. So this is how it looks like, right? So it's similar to Notebook LLM, right? Similar to Deep, but now for code. And then I can just type in something. So let's say how to, or I can just give it something, how to use we want to use JSON. Let's do how to convert JSON, pandas to JSON, right? I'll just write the same code. Now it's going to go through it, and then it's going to analyze and find exactly the right place that I need for this, right? The same thing I can also do here. To JSON, right? Pandas data frame. It's supposed to be data frame. I think I made a mistake there. Let's see what Deepwiki goes through it. It scans the entire code, as you can see. It's analyzing the code. Then it's going to find all the lines of code and then give us some information about it. The same with CodeWiki here, right? So how to convert pandas to JSON. So you see that to convert, it understood that I wanted data frame. You can use this, right? And then you can click on it to go to the actual place where the code is, which is very cool, right? Interesting. And then you see that here are some common options. It scans the code, gives you the different options. We have split, we have records, index, and the rest, and it gives you a very nice example of how to use it. So this is very useful too in case you want to explore more about a code base that you're not familiar with. You can use CodeWiki to help you do that. Very interesting idea, right? The same is with the Deepwiki here. As you can see, it also gives us some instructions on how to do that together with the location of the file, right, and then where it is found, right? So one is scanning the entire code base and using an LLM to give you an understand. Another one also do the same thing but in a different approach, right? Very cool. So this is some of the auto documentation tools that you can use. The difference between the two of the tools is that one of them does auto sync. So in case there's a new commit, it automatically generates a new wiki. So let's try one of my repositories. So I'm just going to go back here. So this is very simple, right? Google always makes things simple. You can go back to the chat again. I see an example here, right? Perfect. And we can also do some stuff here. So let's go back again from pandas. I want to try one of my old libraries and let's see if it has some knowledge about it. So the name of the library is called neat test. So I'll go back here. I said that sorry we don't have, right? So this is very new. It just came last week. So you can request the repository and then you can just give the URL of the repository. So I have my repository here. So it's called neat test. It's on PyPy, right? So this is a long time ago project that was done. It's a very long time ago when I was in medical school. Okay, let's go to GitHub. Yeah, so this is, so I'm just going to give the repository and then it's open source. Mostly it's open source. I can now paste it here and it's going to submit. So it's going to review your request. So it's going to go through it to check it out, right? Then with Deepwiki, because Deepwiki has been there for long, I can actually search for it, neat test, right? So it's not there and I can just paste in the URL. It automatically found it. It has not been indexed yet. So now it will take about 2 to 10 minutes to do that, right? And in case email to notify, I don't need. So it has to be indexed first before it can move on, right? So most of the time, most of the code base need to be requested before it can go on. Perfect. I don't want to do that yet, but let's see this one too. So now this is how these systems are. Most of the time they work on very common, powerful open source repositories, right? And some of them are not there. You have to request it and then wait for some time for it to scan because it has to go through these steps. So that is some two interesting tools that you can use to help you understand your code base. Very useful. We have CodeWiki and then we have Deepwiki. So thank you for watching the tutorial. I hope you have learned something. See you another time. Let's go and try with the Gemini CLI, of course. Let's see what it has. This is Google Gemini CLI. It gives you an explanation of it. You can actually query it to see how it works, see how the entire CLI works, right? Very interesting. I can also do the same thing for here, my Gemini CLI. See that there are so many, right? Let's go with this. I'm surprised, right? It's supposed to be Gemini. Yeah, this, you have Gemini, yeah, interesting. So many Geminis, right? Yeah, this is something that you have to check about. So thank you for watching. See you another time. Stay blessed.